Well, thank you all coming so much. I really appreciate you girls being here today. Now, had a couple of extra just jump in. So I just thought before we start, maybe just tell everyone your name, what you like to do, and I don't know, what else can we ask today?
What you had for breakfast?
Yeah, what you had for breakfast? Why not?
Okay, well, I'll go first then. My name's Kirsty, and I like playing sports. And I had muffins for breakfast this morning, with Vegemite.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, who's next in line?
Just pick someone.
All right, you next then.
My name's Bryden, and I like at the moment looking after my little 2-month-old, and just watching TV. What was the other one? Breakfast.
Yeah.
I was naughty and I had McDonald's for breakfast this morning.
Good choice.
That's what I'm having for
Well,
tea.
Kirsten just had homemade McDonald's.
I probably should do that, but
What about you, Jess?
So I'm Jess, everyone. I like so many things I like. I love making art. Like I love doing watercolor. And I had cereal for breakfast this morning.
Nice. What about you, Cass?
My name's Cassie, and I had Nutella on toast for breakfast. And I enjoy walks and watching movies.
Very good. And lucky last but not least.
That's me. I'm Amy. What do I like? I like reading and I like cooking. And what did I have for breakfast? I've been trying to remember. I think I had scrambled eggs with avocado and toast. What say?
Me too, Amy. Me too. It's a good way to start the day, isn't it? And what do I like? I like listening to music. I like going on bushwalks, and I like hanging out with you guys. So thanks for coming today. So today our session is going to be on 2+ infinitive and what's called a gerund. So we're going to do a little bit about grammar and talking about traveling the world while we're at it. So I'm going to share my screen with you and let me know if you can't see it. I know some of you on a phone, so it can be a bit of a challenge. Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So our theme for today is around the world, dreaming about travel, even though we can't go anywhere for 5Ks from our homes at the moment, unless we need to for grocery shopping and things. So I was going to make this a bit smaller. Can anyone tell me what these images are of and their destination? Do you know where they are located in the world?
Well, the clock's Big Ben, I'm going to say, and that's in London.
Yeah. And do we know the top right one there? The design of it kind of gives it away. It's definitely from an Asian country.
Yeah, Asian.
I don't know
Taj
the
Mahal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Taj Mahal is definitely the bottom one. And do we know where that's located?
India?
Yep, in India. Awesome. And the top right one, I'll give you a hint, is not China. So think of another giant, also like a very well-known Asian country.
Japan.
Yeah. So this one here is a beautiful castle. It's called Osaka Castle in Japan. Very, very beautiful building. Very traditional. Very well designed. The architecture in that is absolutely incredible. So we're going to do a quick match game. So can anyone try and work out what A is? So we've got a couple of different photos. So the first one is the Christ Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro, We've got the Forbidden City in Beijing in China, the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, and Red Fort in Delhi in India. So can we try and guess which one belongs to which text there along the side?
I'd say A is number 2.
Yeah.
B is 1.
B is 1. Yeah, I wonder why it was forbidden. Yeah, big hint there. I'll try to make that a little bit easier.
The number 3 would go with D.
Yeah. Try and get past the guards and the fort, which means that the last one would be C, which was the Pyramids of Giza. I wonder how far they would have had to have moved the stones to build it. It's absolutely incredible thinking with our old technology of how they managed to get all of those stones there to build the pyramids. A massive project indeed.
Good boy. There you go.
Stuff. So, quick couple of questions for you. What of the top 2 places that you would like to travel to? Just dreaming about a bit of travel here while we're stuck in homes, not being able to go very far.
I actually only really have 2 places that I really want to go. I want to go back to the US to see all my family, and I also would love to go to Scotland.
That would be pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Cassie? Where would you like to go?
I'd like to go to New Zealand and see the Hobbit homes. Machu Picchu. I'd love to walk that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the photo here. It looks pretty impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks incredible.
What about you, Kirsty? Where's 2 places that you would like to travel to?
I'd like to go to America to go to Disney World. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to America to go there. You could go to Singapore if you want to, or China, or France.
It's not the same. Let's not try this with an American.
And I'd like to see the Stonehenge too. I suppose that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. What about you, Bryden?
Well, America is one because I'd like to go to where is it that has I'd like to go to Disneyland, but the theme park that has Springfield.
No, not Universal.
Yeah, Universal. Yeah.
Universal Studios. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I love The Simpsons. So probably like Amsterdam as well.
Some pretty amazing buildings in Amsterdam. What about you, Jess? Where would you like to travel to? What are your top 2 places?
There's so many places I'd love to travel to. Like when Cass said New Zealand, that's definitely one of my top places. That and probably Ireland. I'd love to go to Ireland. Yeah, they're probably some of my top ones.
Are your family from Ireland, Jess?
My family, on both sides, we've got Welsh family, and then on mum's side, we've got some Scottish. So, so yeah, we don't trace back to Ireland, but I've always been fascinated by it. So,
That's pretty cool. So, after saying that, most people love to be a tourist and to travel to different places, but there can also be some negatives in visiting other places. I was wondering, can we think of maybe 2 to 3 negatives of traveling? Now, I know I can't put you guys in breakout rooms because I'm recording this session, so we might just share all together. Of maybe some of the negatives you can think of traveling to a different place.
I think maybe some of like if you don't do your research about their different laws that might be okay, like in your country, and then you don't look at what their laws are properly, and you go to do something, and like I know there's certain ones where you can't like kiss in public or something, or I don't know, like where they have their different, and if you don't know, then you don't, if you don't do your research. Hey.
You get your hand cut off.
Yeah.
The negative.
Basically.
Pretty,
Things like
pretty
that.
brutal.
Yeah.
What about you, Kirsty? Can you think of any other maybe negatives of traveling to a different place?
I'd probably get lost pretty easily. Places that I don't know, I probably wouldn't quite know where I was going.
Yeah, definitely one of them would be finding your way around a different space, especially if a lot of the signs and things weren't in your language, for sure.
Yeah.
How about foods? Is there any kind of foods that you guys think that you might struggle with, or if you have traveled, it's been a bit of a challenge adapting to a different style of food than you're used to?
Grasshoppers.
Grasshoppers.
Yeah, that could be a bit
Very
of a challenge.
popular in Thailand.
Yes, or maybe scorpion on a stick. That one's also a bit challenging.
Ugh.
Yeah. Or chicken feet. Yeah.
Oh, that is nailed.
Yeah. As sometimes a delicacy in other countries. Yeah.
Mhm.
And also maybe speaking a different language can be a bit of a challenge as well. So obviously, if people are learning English as a second language, then being in a space where people don't speak that language can be challenging, and vice versa for us as well. I know when I went over to Singapore and many people were speaking Chinese, I was very out of my depth, not knowing what people were saying. I only knew ni hao, which is hello, and shishir, which is thank you. And the rest you kind of just try to work out from the expression on people's faces and general pointing of directions and things. But yeah, that's just some of the challenges that we can face traveling as well. So going from our discussion about travel and things, we're going to be talking today about 2 plus an infinitive. I'm just going to move this out of the way just so you guys can see my screen without seeing everyone else's faces. So infinitives are the base form of the verb, generally with 2 in front of it, and they can act as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. And a couple of examples of this would be to take, or to build, or to eat when we're using those words in a sentence. And if you're a little bit unsure, an adverb, just a quick refresher there, is a verb that's used to describe another verb or that modifies another verb. So for example, very slowly or calmly spoke, or sang joyfully. So both of those words there are verbs, but also just describing that. And they can be an adjective as well, usually ending in ly, like cloudy or carefully, those kind of things. So that's what the infinitive is. It's based on the verb, generally with a 2 in front of it. And there's a couple of different ways that we use this when we're using it in a sentence. So when we're saying, for example, I need to do my homework, that sentence doesn't really make sense if we don't use the word to in front of it. So down here you can see I need to do my homework, or I need to do the dishes because the sink is full, or I want to buy a new dress. If you just go up to the person at the checkout and say I want to buy a dress, they'll generally know what you mean, but it's not correct grammar. So we use this infinitive after some verbs. So when you've got 2 verbs beside each other. So that's one example. Another one can be after an adjective. So just a quick refresher again, an adjective is a describing word. So it helps describe characteristics about a word. So whether it be the color or the shape, it might be red, it might be round, it might be shady or dark. Those kind of words are describing words. And when we're using it in this sense, we're using it after an adjective. So a general greeting that you'll hear quite a lot is nice to meet you. If we say nice to meet you, it's not quite the right grammar again. So we're adding in that to, the infinitive, in front of those 2 words there, being the adjective and the verb. So nice to meet you, or it's important to go to work. So the adjective again here is important, and then putting that to for the going to work, or I'm happy to help. Is this making sense so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's another way that we might possibly use this as well if we're using it after a question word being when, what, why, who, when, or how. All these words are question words. So if someone says to you, he asks where to go, so he asks where go next, again, it's a little bit confusing and not quite a correct sentence there. So using the to infinitive again, I don't know who to ask, or I know what to do, or does she know when to arrive? If you just say, does she know when arrive? Again, it's not quite correct grammar. So we're adding in the to in front of the verb there being the infinitive. And our last example, and there's many different ones, but these are the ones that we're going to cover today, is when you're giving a reason why, or to say why. So again, for example, if we say, I'm taking the bus to get to work, or perhaps you might say, I went to the mechanic, fix my car. Again, it's not quite making 100% sense. So you're adding in the to plus infinitive there again. So for example, here, I'm watching the video to improve my cooking skills, or I'm taking class to get better at my computer skills, or taking this class. I went to the store to buy the groceries. So in those instances, we're adding the to in front of the verb there as the infinitive. So now we're going to move into a quick exercise just to show you what this looks like in a sentence. So this is Anthony talking about his visit to the Sydney Opera House in Sydney. So I will annotate this as we're going. And after we've read those ones, we're going to see if we can put these words into the sentence. So what do we think the first one might be?
To visit.
Yeah, to visit. We didn't want to walk to Sydney. Man, that's a long way. So we wanted to visit the Sydney Opera House. We went to Sydney 2 years ago. When we got there, we were surprised that no visitors were allowed inside.
To find.
Yes, good work. Just trying to find my mouse here. It's just disappeared on me. Yep, so it's to find. Good work. Oh, there it is.
Do.
And we were surprised to find that there were no visitors inside. We weren't sure what
To do.
To do.
to do. Good work. We weren't sure what to do next as it was high on our list of things to see. So we decided
To walk.
to walk around and have a look on the steps outside. So again, all of these sentences are using the to plus infinitive in this example here. All right, I'm going to see. All right, I might just get whoever's in the background there, maybe just to turn off the mic, just so that we can all hear each other. I'm going to see if I can get rid of this. Sorry, guys. I've just lost control of my mouse just now. It's really strange.
Maybe it's gone flat.
Perhaps. It's really strange. This is the first time it's ever happened. There we go.
Are you watching The Simpsons, Bryden?
Beautiful. All right. And now we're just in saying all of that, we need to be careful sometimes that to can also be a preposition. So again, a preposition is a word that helps to show you where a word is in a sentence. So in regard to we went to the store, or for another example here, she took a taxi to work, or we are flying back to Melbourne on Sunday. So again, in this sense, it's not being used as the infinitive, it's being using here as the preposition. So a couple of different famous tourist destinations now. Does anyone know where these places are, and maybe have you been there? So this is our first one.
Sydney Opera.
Yeah, the Sydney Opera House.
Mhm.
The Melbourne Eye Star.
I'm thinking the London Eye.
I don't know what I'm on about.
Yep, that one is the Melbourne Star. Yep.
Melbourne
What
Star.
about this one down here?
You knew where it was.
You knew where I was. That's good. Does anyone know what this one here is?
No.
Las Vegas or something.
Good try. This one's actually in Abu Dhabi. So this is one of their famous fountains there. They're very well known for their artistry with water and trying to make things beautiful. And then this last one here is the Sydney Skywalk at Gardens by the Bay, which is a beautiful place. So in our theme with our famous places, we're just going to listen to a bit of an audio clip here, and we're going to be listening out for those two infinitives. So if you have a pen there, or perhaps you can use it on your phone. I think I asked most of you to bring a pen along with you.
No.
Or if you've got your phone there, or maybe something beside you, I'll just give you a minute to grab something. Give you a couple more seconds. Good stuff.
I found some sticky notes.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to play this twice through. So just listen carefully, and you're looking for these words that are missing in our audio clip. Okay, and then once you hear each one, just write them down. And if we were in person, I would get you to talk to your partner. However, today we're just going to discuss it as a group because we're a pretty small group today. So if you can't hear this at all, please do let me know. You might need to turn your audio up.
Everybody says it's important to get to the Taj Mahal early if you.
Can everyone hear that?
It is a little bit quiet, not too bad though.
All right, I'll just turn my audio up, so let me know.
Everybody says it's important to get to the Taj Mahal early if you want to take photos, because it is particularly beautiful at sunrise. It's also easier to take photos when there are not so many people. So I decided to get up early. I don't know how to describe it really, but it was a breathtaking sight. Just amazing. The Taj Mahal was built by an emperor to honor his wife. Apparently, he promised to build it as a symbol of their love. Today, it is a world-famous tourist attraction, with many international visitors coming to India specifically to see it.
Cool. So I hope you were able to take notes on when those infinitives are coming up in our sentence. So I'll just play it through one more time. So if you feel like you missed one, then you'll have another opportunity to listen in. So I'll just play it for you now.
Everybody says it's important to get to the Taj Mahal early if you want to take photos, because it is particularly beautiful at sunrise. It's also easier to take photos when there are not so many people. So I decided to get up early. I don't know how to describe it really, but it was a breathtaking sight. Just amazing. The Taj Mahal was built by an emperor to honor his wife. Apparently, he promised to build it as a symbol of their love. Today, it is a world-famous tourist attraction, with many international visitors coming to India specifically to see it.
Cool. So I hope you were able to catch it on the second time if you didn't quite catch it the first. So we're just going to go through now and we'll fill in the infinitives into our little text that we have here about the Taj Mahal. So everyone says it's important What do we think the first one is there? Kirsty, did you catch that one?
To get.
Yeah, to get to the Taj Mahal early. I was going to say, I might try annotating again. We'll see if I lose my mouse again. Yeah, to get. To the Taj Mahal early if you want. What's missing here?
To take. I got the wrong thing.
To take
To
photos.
take.
Yeah, because it's
I wrote down the wrong thing.
because it's particularly beautiful at sunrise. It's also easy to take photos when there are not too many people around. So I decided, what was the next section of our text?
To get up.
Yeah. Oh no, I've lost my mouse again.
To be able to tab through.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work for me, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, that's close enough. Oh my gosh, this is really strange. Anyway, we'll keep going on. To get up early, yes, good work there. I don't know how to, what was the next one?
Describe.
Yeah, to describe it really, but it was a breathtaking sight, just amazing. The Taj Mahal was built by an emperor to honor his wife. Apparently, he promised to
build.
Yep, to build it as a symbol of their love. Today is a famous tourist attraction with many international visitors coming specifically to see it. It is definitely an amazing place to see. So again, we've added in those infinitives here. So the top one there, everyone says it's important. We were talking about earlier when we have an adjective in front. So we've got our adjective and then to get. And then the next one is if you want to take photos. So adding in our infinitive there. Down the bottom, so I decided, so two verbs beside each other again. So decided get doesn't make sense. So you had to put the to in front of it there. So I decided to get up early. And I don't know how to describe it. Can anyone think of why that one might be the infinitive there?
Because it's describing when it is, or?
No, it's not an adjective, but it is a why, when, how, where, why word. So it's a question word that's placed in front. So you wouldn't say how describe it really. So that's, again, we're adding in the how to describe it really. But it was an amazing, breathtaking sight. It was a breathtaking sight. It was just amazing. And then we went down earlier. Apparently he promised to build. So again, promise is another verb. So adding in that to there as well. Now let's see if we can get back out of this. It's really, there we go. And get rid of our annotate. Oh no, this happened to me last time. I have to clear it first. Otherwise, we will not be able to see off the next one. Thanks for your patience, guys. This is the first time this has happened. My mouse has just really decided not to work anymore. There we go. It decided to show up again. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to have another listening activity. And this time, rather than filling in a gap, we're going to try and listen out to when this was working. So what we might do is if you want to have a bit of a chat with each other in the chat box, you can, if maybe one of you had missed it. Again, just because I'm on a recorded video session, I can't put you into breakout rooms to work together. So if you want to work as a collective, you can. But you'll be listening out for our infinitives here that are going to fit into our text. And then we're going to add them into whatever number they appear. Now, this one can be a little bit more tricky to pick up. So really listen out for those, the two words, and then we'll add them into our text. So I'll play it for you now. Again, please let me know if you can't hear it.
If you are wondering what to do to make the most of your visit to the Great Wall of China, I have 3 pieces of advice. Remember to take plenty of water to avoid getting dehydrated. Second, wear comfortable shoes. Third, time your visit carefully to escape the crowds. Unfortunately, I accidentally arranged to visit during Golden Week when the wall was absolutely packed with hordes of tourists. The views were still spectacular, of course, but it was impossible to enjoy the experience. I was really disappointed, but I'm planning to try again one day.
Good work. So we had our 7 infinitives show up in the text there again. So what we'll do is we'll just listen through one more time, because as I mentioned, this one can be a little bit more tricky to pick up. So really listening out for those infinitives there as they appear and write them down in order. So we're looking for to avoid, to try, to take, to enjoy, to escape, to do, and to visit. So listening out and when they appear as we hear them. Okay, we'll play one more time.
If you are wondering what to do to make the most of your visit to the Great Wall of China, I have 3 pieces of advice. Remember to take plenty of water to avoid getting dehydrated. Second, wear comfortable shoes. Third, time your visit carefully to escape the crowds. Unfortunately, I accidentally arranged to visit during Golden Week when the wall was absolutely packed with hordes of tourists. The views were still spectacular, of course, but it was impossible to enjoy the experience. I was really disappointed, but I'm planning to try again one day.
Good work. I think a couple of you placed it in there. Yeah, good stuff. All right. So maybe you can share with one of the others of where you heard it in the text. So the first one was, she was giving 3 tips to go to the Great Wall of China. She said the first one was to, what was our first infinitive there?
Was it to enjoy?
To do.
No.
Yep, so to do was our first one, to do in China. So I might pop it in the chat box. Can you guys can't see the chat box on my screen, can you?
No, but if we press down the bottom of our screen and go into more, it has the chat box.
Yes, but that means that you won't be able to see the screen for some of you because you are on your phones, which is a bit of a challenge. So we'll just see if I can annotate it. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. Thanks for your patience. Okay, cool. I think it's going to work now. So first one was to do in China. Good work. So that was F. The second one was to
take.
Yep, so she said to take plenty of water so that you don't get dehydrated. So again,
See
that verb there, I'm just going to go enter. This is so much easier this time. So what do we think the next one was?
A, to avoid.
Yeah, so she said make sure you go early to avoid the crowds. And she went in Golden Week. Now, if anyone doesn't know what a horde is, hordes of tourists means lots of tourists in one place. So number 4.
Was it E, to escape?
Yeah, it was to escape. So to escape the crowds. Good work. 5 was.
G.
Yeah. To visit. Like to visit again.
Sorry, I keep muting myself because my partner's watching TV. I don't know if it's too loud.
No, that's okay. Number 6. What was that one? She said it was impossible.
D,
To
to
enjoy.
Yeah, to enjoy. You're doing a really good job there, team. And lucky last was
B, to try.
Yeah, to try again. So she really enjoyed her stay, but with all the crowds there, it was really hard to enjoy it. So she was going to try and visit again. So again, we're using all of these two infinitives in our sentence there. Great listening there, team. All right, let's again see if we can get rid of this. Cool. Yay, it's working. So now we're going to have a quick discussion about using those two infinitives with likes and dislikes. So we're going to go around and everyone's going to share something they like to do, or maybe they don't like to do. And it could be a household chore, it could be a hobby, it could be a place you like to go. So we might start with you, Cassie. What's something you like to do?
Well, I do like to go for walks, and I dislike putting away folded clothes.
Yeah, that can be a bit of a challenge. Yeah.
Mm.
What about you there, Jess?
I really like visiting the Grampians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do like it. And I probably dislike, one of the first things that popped into my head was dishes.
I don't like to do the dishes. Yep. That could be another infinitive right there. What about you, Bryden?
I like to do photography.
Yeah.
And I dislike I was going to say dishes. I dislike dishes, but you know.
So I don't like to do the dishes, or I don't enjoy doing dishes.
Don't enjoy doing dishes.
Yeah. What about you, Kirsty?
I suppose I like to catch up with my friends when I can.
Yeah.
And I dislike to do the cooking.
Yeah, so I don't like to do the cooking. Good stuff. So again, we're using like to and to do, all of those infinitives inside our sentences there. All right, I'm going to skip this one just because I'm aware of the time. So we're moving in from our infinitives is using that to connect our verbs in a sentence into a gerund. So a gerund can appear when two verbs follow one another, or if it's being used as a noun in a sentence. So for example, here, if I say, I enjoy cook class, so cook being a verb and enjoy being a verb, it doesn't quite make sense. So in this sense, we need to use the verb plus ing on the end. So I enjoy cooking class, which makes more sense. Or I dislike clean windows. Now, this sentence can be correct if you don't like having the windows being clean, but in this sense, the person is saying that I dislike cleaning the windows because they don't enjoy doing the housework. So again, using the verb plus ing, we're seeing two verbs beside each other. Now, this could also be discuss. I need discuss. If I say I need discuss, it doesn't quite make sense. I need to discuss would be the infinitive. As I mentioned as well, sometimes we can use a gerund as it acts as a noun. So this sometimes will happen at the beginning of a sentence. For example, here, cooking class is my favorite class. So cooking here is a verb, but we're not saying I am doing the cooking. In that sense, it would be the verb, but here it's called a gerund because it's now become the noun in the sentence. So the cooking class, it's a noun. Again, just a quick refresher, if you're not quite sure what a noun is, it's a person, place, or thing. And again, here we could use it with dancing and many different verbs as well. So in this sense, using it as a noun instead of a verb. It's kind of like the verbs putting a disguise on. A couple more examples of a gerund being a noun could be eating. So eating is highly processed bread is bad for people's health. Or listening to music helps soothe the soul. Or it could be surfing is a great way to explore the beach. Again, it doesn't have to be in the beginning of a sentence. It can also be in the middle of a sentence. So photographing is the verb. And then adding ing on the end. Aiden must not go climbing alone. Scrap the not to. And sometimes these words will happen after other verbs. So when the verb is side by side, these kind of verbs are generally followed by a gerund, which again, a gerund, which is the verb plus ing. So I enjoy dancing, or I enjoy drinking water. When you see those verbs side by side, the second verb will always generally have that ing beside it. Or I forgot giving the mail to the mailman. So a couple more examples here. Again, I remember taking my keys to work. So again, two verbs are placed side by side, so adding the verb plus the ing on the end. Or I dread going to the hospital. Can you identify maybe the gerund below in these sentences?
I would say doing.
Yep, so doing here.
Improving.
Not quite. So in this sense, this one,
Swimming.
yeah, so swimming is the gerund here because it's being used as the noun in the sentence, whereas this one is a past participle or something like that. All right, now how do we use those in practice? So when we're using these in a sentence, how does it look, and why do we need to know the difference between an infinitive of where you should use it and a gerund? So for example, here, if we're saying he gave up smoking or to smoke at the end of last summer, you would be using he gave up smoking, because he gave up to smoke doesn't quite make sense in a sentence. So in this sense, we don't need the to plus infinitive. We would use the gerund instead. So we've got a couple more sentences below. How do you think you might be using the she is not used to? Is it to living or live on her own?
To living.
So it would be, yep, to living. She's not used to living on her own. What about number 3 there?
To travel.
Yep, they continue to dream to travel all the afternoon. Or 4, I was glad
Knowledge.
to acknowledge, you mean?
Yes.
Sorry, all I heard there was knowledge.
Oh, yeah, that's the to acknowledge. Yep.
Yeah, I was glad to acknowledge the work of the previous manager at the meeting. So this is how those words would end up showing up here in those sentences. All right, in the chat box here, you can write out the sentence and then add in which one that you think it might be, if it's discovering or to discover, so using the gerund or the to plus infinitive. So just in the chat box, write down the sentence and then fill it in with which answer that you might think would be correct there. Oh, have we lost our chat box? There it is. Good stuff there, Jess.
I think I sent it just to Jess. This is
Oh, thanks,
I have a couple of people who want to quickly say hello.
Hold on a sec. We'll just quickly finish here. We've only got about 13 more
Right.
minutes. That's okay. Good
Every
work.
time I go to write one, somebody's already answered it.
Good work there, Cassie.
Oh, yeah, it's popping up.
Thanks for sharing with all of us, not just Jess.
Yeah, was able to copy paste it.
The beauties of doing online learning, hey?
Yeah.
I'm failing miserably at it.
You're doing well, guys. You're doing very well. All right, good work with that one. So when we're using our senses, we can also use the verb plus the object plus the verb ending in ing. So in this sentence here, when we said, I could see her walking down the street of the aisle of the supermarket. So we're adding the verb plus ing. So this is the verb, see, and then the object is her walking down the aisle of the supermarket. Or we were watching our children playing in the park. So were watching is being the gerund there and playing as well. Coming down to this one, I could smell the cookies my sister was cooking in the oven. So using a couple of different ones there. So now, just to finish up, we're going to try making a sentence using the to plus infinitive or a gerund. So I've got a couple of sentence starters here for you, and we're going to try and make some sentences using any one here. So you could use the to plus infinitive, or you could use a gerund to finish the sentence. So you can decide whatever activity you would like to input in there. It could be one of those hobbies that we're talking about, like to, or enjoy. Maybe it could be something you learned today. I learned what an infinitive, but using the to plus infinitive or the gerund. So I learned to play, or I learned to
Use a grand. I learned to use a grand.
A gerund, yep.
A gerund, sorry.
And then just pop that one in the chat box there when you're finished. I enjoy receiving your gnocchi that you've made, Amy.
Anytime you can.
I'm not really good. Because I have to keep going back and forth. It's just a bit hard for me to type.
That's okay. You don't have to do. Yep, good work, Kirsty. And I decided to go to the movies. Well done, Jess. I finished working on my assignment. Oh, good work, Bryden. You've used them all.
Smashed it.
I didn't do the last one because I felt tired and I couldn't think about it.
Good work, Cassie. I like to bake. I enjoy watching movies. I learn how to cook. I
I
need
need to sleep.
I like that one. I decided to stop swimming. Really well done there, team. Wonderful. So again, going back just across our notes for a quick refresher. So again, if we're using a gerund, we're doing it when we see those two verbs beside each other. So if you see any of these words, like it might be enjoy, most of the time if you see enjoy with another word, the second verb will be a gerund. Stop yelling. Generally, when you use stop in a sentence, the second word will have a gerund. And then going back to our two infinitives there as well. So if you are giving a reason why, you'll generally use that to plus infinitive. If you see a question word, like I don't know who to ask, you'll be using the to plus infinitive there. If you see an adjective beside another verb, then you'll add the to plus in there as well. And then also, if you're using a verb after another verb, which we spoke about before. Wonderful. So before we go, see if I can pull you all back up now. I'm going to stop showing my slide. Before we go, I guess we can all have a go at what you are going to do tonight.
I'm going to make homemade pizza.
Lovely.
I'm excited.
All right, and can anyone identify the to plus infinitive she used just there? What is it, Amy?
To make.
Yeah, good work. What about you, Ryden? What are you going to do tonight?
Maybe take a nap.
Yeah. Kirsty, can you identify the infinitive in a sentence?
Taking
Or to take? She's
or to take. So
yeah, cool. All right, Jess, what are you going to do tonight?
I am going to sit around the campfire.
Oh, wonderful. It's a good night. But it's been pretty wet here, but I'm imagining it'd be a lot warmer where you are at the moment.
A little bit warmer.
Well, what about you, Kirsty? What are you going to do tonight?
I am going to pick up Macca's for dinner.
Yum.
And Kirsty, can you identify the infinitive in her sentence?
She's going to get Macca's, so to get.
Or to pick up, yeah.
Oh, to pick up.
Wonderful. So I hope that's been enlightening for you all as you are going about your days making sentences and writing things down. You probably have a bit more understanding, like, oh, that's the reason why I don't say that. Like having two verbs in a row and missing the word to, or adding the gerund in with the ing. I enjoy seeing all of you tonight, which has been wonderful. So thanks very much, ladies, for all hopping in. I'm going to end my recording.